Yeah. So we're out at Manassas Regional Airport with Mike Knaggy, Vice President of Marketing at Pilatus, and Peter Duncan, Chief Pilot, Pilatus. And Mike and Peter represent Pilatus for the Western Hemisphere. Mike's going to start us out, or actually Peter, on a pre-flight.
Essentially, we're just right here at the cargo door, so I'm just going to show a couple of the features we have. It sets this airplane apart from our competitors. The cargo door is specifically designed to incorporate pilot-sized loads. As you can see here, the seats are fairly easy. You have just 2 pins to pull out, and then the seat just lifts off like that. The seat weighs about 18 pounds, so it's really light. Everything about the airplane is to be able to be reconfigured in a matter of minutes. So you can pull these seats out, put up a cargo net, take up the floor matting, and now you can put in just about anything you want right here in this space right here. It still takes 6 people or 8 people in front, go to any destination where the airplane can land in. The cargo area right here has a 400-pound capacity, over 30 cubic feet of volume, and then forward of there you could put almost another 1,000 pounds forward of here at this station right here. So just under 1,500 pounds after the spar, you could load and still be within CG. Cargo door has a motor, just push button simplicity. Just hold it down. We have these side windows for our chute bolts. Locking mechanism. If those are all green, you know you have a good lock door. In case a micro switch were to fail, you can still come out here, and this is a redundant feature, so the pilot knows that he can still continue the flight. One of the new features with the 47 series aircraft is this Fletner tab. It's essentially an anti-servo tab. It basically reduces the roll forces on the aircraft versus the Legacy series aircraft. This is a blended winglet that maximizes the aerodynamics effects of that design.
That was first out in 2008, is that correct? The tab?
Yeah, the series for the 47 I think came out
2006.
Yeah, 2006. So. This is an AOA vane. We have a stick shaker pusher system on the airplane. The stick shaker comes on 6 knots before the stall. It pushes 2 knots before the stall. Everything about the airplane is meant to maximize the performance. One of the factors, or one of the features here with the boot design, is we milled flush the boots to the wing. It reduces drag and maximizes the efficiency of the boots. Everything about the airplane is to be maintained in the field. Try to reduce the number of tools that a mechanic might have to use. So, for example, we've got quick release hatches on all the critical areas. It also is nice with regard to the pilot. I can inspect every critical component of the airplane in a matter of literally seconds just by popping these doors open. You can see all the hydraulic lines and fuel lines are outside the pressure vessel. It's a good maintenance consideration, so we don't have anything crossing the passenger compartment, as well as a safety consideration. There's also a fuel shutoff valve. One of the nice design features, there's no way you can close that with the fuel shutoff valve in the off position. Fuel filter, bypass indicator as well. And then in this compartment I can look at the rudder cable interconnects as well.
When would you ever turn off that fuel shutoff valve?
That would be for maintenance. Yep. Whole cowling's composite material, very light. Sight gauge right here for the oil. So if I can see the oil right there, I don't have to pull out the dipstick each time. Lessens the potential of possibly inadvertently not putting the oil dipstick in incorrectly. With this design, we have a couple key features. We have a green line that lines up as well. as well as the electronic cap right here. You can see where it's red right there. So if it's on completely, you don't see the red line on the probe sensor.
And which engine is this again?
It's a PT667P.
1200 shaft horsepower takeoff?
1200 shaft horsepower. From this airplane has the ability to sustain 1200 shaft horsepower throughout the entire climb profile. In the legacy airplane, you're limited to 5 minutes, and then you'd bring it back to 1000 shaft horsepower. Fully reversing propeller, 105-inch Hartzell prop. Fully heated intake lip. Just uses exhaust gas from the engine exhaust, goes from one side, comes out the other through a little tube. From a mechanics perspective, it's just really easy to decal the engine. Pop these off, bring that off. We've got 2 more on either side. You bring that down. So again, in a matter of literally inside of a minute, you can decal the entire airplane or the entire engine and be able to have access to it for maintenance reasons. And again, you've got access points here, or inspection points. These are your pressurization lines, as well as your oxygen service port right here. You have a gauge right here. It's a secondary gauge for the one in the cockpit. If the one in the cockpit were to fail, you can come out here, verify that you've got oxygen, continue your flight.
Pneumatic boots on both sides?
Yes.
In the tail?
Yep.
The horizontal stabilizer?
Uh-huh.
Are those auto cycling?
Yes, there's a 1 minute, 3 minute setting on there, and it goes in stages. So the tail inflates completely on the first stage. On the second stage, the inboard lower boots inflate, and then the inboard upper boots inflate, and then the outboard lowers inflate, and then the outboard uppers inflate. And they do it on both wings. Weather radar is out on the right wing. Adds a little bit of drag on this side, counteracts P factor, left turning tendencies there, so that the rudder doesn't have to work as hard to maintain coordination.
Are you LED on your lights at this point?
We have LED, yeah, on the tail cone and on the nav lights are the only LED lights we have currently. As you can see, the flaps take up almost 70% of the entire width of the wing. That kind of helps us obviously have our very low approach speeds and low stall speeds. Gross weight, I can be on speed, 1.3 VSO, about 87 knots. See, they kind of blended off the surface here at the tail. It's essentially because the airflow off the tail starts to separate. And it doesn't really make much sense to keep this coming to a very fine point because it's essentially in dead air. So they went ahead and blended it off. It makes for a stronger surface right there. Saves a little bit of weight, and it's just not a critical airflow past this point. With that in mind, we have to put these little fins out here to kind of increase the efficiency of the yaw damper or the yaw trim to be able to get the rudder to get into that excite airflow right there. Back to the cargo door. All right.